It's been a while, and oh boy, RMRs are giving us a lot of stuff to think. Group A, damn, who would have thought about this kind type of results? Like VP, okay, right? In my book, there was a possibility, right? But I kind of hope that everything's gonna be fine. But Face, ooh, just looking again. OG made it. Apex made it. Navi made it. Eagles made it. And Mouse made it. Every single team that FaZe played made it. When on the other side, you have teams like, uh, pardon, but Fnatic playing one win, playing bait, and that's it. Just the seeding is awful. The system is awful. But, well, it is what it is. No need to complain. Just get over it and get ready for Group B. So let's uh, let's just talk about it. I'm just gonna say straight away that, in my opinion, Group B after the Group A results is not gonna be even as close with as many surprises as Group A. Teams like Cloud9, Heroic, Vitality, and G2, they're not gonna fuck around and find out what's gonna happen. They're just gonna play full focus every single game. No, um, kinda. Let's try this thing. Maybe it's gonna work, and we don't need to show our strats. Now over here, after those results, you just have to play hard. So let's start. Heroic against 500. I don't think there's any chance for 500 to win a game against any of strong teams, because 500 is a 3-2 team, which well, everybody knows, and they come in there just to go for 0-3, or maybe if they bet's gonna not gonna be allowed in certain scenarios, that potentially they're gonna try and maybe try their hardest at the 0-2 game. But I'm pretty sure they're gonna go 0-2 pretty quick. Uh, I wouldn't be surprised if they don't really get like 10 rounds. However, on individual level, those players aren't really that bad, and there's always a possibility that potentially they can get a W somewhere. Now, Cloud9 against Force. I believe the recent Cloud9 grind actually gonna benefit a lot for them, and Force are grinders as well. And in my book, potentially both of these teams gonna qualify, because Cloud9, well, obviously they're quite strong, and Force, they they do have what's needed, right? But I believe they're gonna start with the 0-1, maybe even 0-2. It depends what their seeding gonna be for the second game. But in the first game, I'm going for the Cloud9. Now, Spirit against Aurora. This is where I'm a bit worried. Um, I want to cheer for Aurora, and Spirit. I don't know why, but something feels off when I watch Spirit. It's just like either they not really trying, or they trying a lot of new stuff every single time, and maybe their whole focus is just for the RMR. But at the moment, I'm kind of a bit worried for the Spirit. um, I'm not going to be surprised if Spirit drops down to the last chance qualifier, and yeah, if they actually do that, well, I'm kind of expecting the worst for them. In this case, Aurora, I actually like the way they're playing, and I actually like their lineup. Kenzie and Ori are great, but do I really believe that they have a chance to qualify right now? Or maybe that Core potentially will be a great CS2 team. I'm kind of more on the second side, that potentially this Core can transition to CS2, and because they're all young, there's a very good possibility they're gonna be great in CS2, and probably they're gonna even qualify for the first major if they're gonna stick around and just play. So for this time, I have to go with the Spirit. I believe in best of one. Still, Spirit have a kind of domination over like tier two teams in terms of map pool. So for me, it's Spirit. Now big against Nation. Actually, if we go and just read what it says, it says bin. So, so yeah, Nation is probably the weakest team out of all of them that attending, and for me, they play 0-3. When BIG, if they fix all these like little troubles that they have, um, I believe that they actually have a chance to go 3-0. Might be a surprise for many people, but I won't be surprised if they actually go 3-0. With the way Crimbo is performing right now, it's a quite good possibility. Now ends against Monte. Hmm. I'm not a believer in Monte, and if one win couldn't make it, then Monte is not gonna make it either. For me, it's gonna be easy for Ens, so not even gonna talk about Monte. Vitality against Astralis. This one is interesting one. However, Vitality technically should be on the rise right now, and they should be actually ready to go full power exactly at this point. Because if you're Apex and you just saw that Kerrigan shut the bed and some other results were unpleasant to top teams, then you will be like, okay, we have to do everything that we can. So I believe Astral is still gonna make it. They still have a chance to make it, right? But it's not gonna be for the 3-0. And at this point, I'm picking Vitality over. Is right now is under the pressure. That's where kind of Zonic should be thrilling, and the rest of the team should be okay. A lot of experience, and that should be enough. Now NIP against Internal Fire. NIP, I just horrible. Eternal Fire, I even worse. If there will be a game on 0-3 Eternal Fire against Nation, if I'm a betting person, I'm betting for Nation. Right now, I don't see any option for Eternal Fire to qualify. It's just that bad. However, in NIP against Eternal Fire game, anything can happen. Like if it's gonna be like a classic Puggy map, then Xantaros obviously can handle the whole thing just by himself. But most likely NIP gonna take it. So for me, it's like 70% for the NIP win. It's still a lot, but yeah, there is always a possibility that Talonify can upset. And now 9 against G2. Well, for me, it's quite obvious. G2 have too much firepower, and 9 obviously they don't really have that much experience, and uh, I doubt that 9 can actually have any chance in majority of the maps when they're gonna play against G2. If we just open the matchup game, matchup page, where's matchup page? Here we go, and just compare the map pool. We're gonna see that in terms of map pool, G2 have full domination. Like the only map is Vertigo, but let's be honest, how many times do you see G2 playing Vertigo? It's not gonna be played. Overpass, definitely not gonna play. Mirage, seriously, you wanna play Mirage against Monacy and Nico? Please. It's not a map. Actually, potentially, I'm not gonna be surprised to see actually Mirage. And if I'm 9, I'm never playing Nuke against G2. Never playing Nuke. I I'll try my best to force Anubis if I'm on the side of 9. I'm trying to force Anubis by any chance, and well, G2 might be overconfident. 3 maps, 3 wins, but who did they play against? Let's just see. Eternal Fire, Liquid, and Big. All right, if Big win is justified, then Eternal Fire, Liquid, it's just Nothing much to say about that. So again, if I'm 9, my only chance is to play Anubis against G2 to actually go either double digits or close game. If I'm playing Nuke, G2 I'm feeling way too comfortable on Nuke. If I'm playing Mirage, you barely have a 50% win rate. Like, okay, you have 60% win rate, but you're playing like tier 2 events, and it's not a map for you to play against a player like Monacy, which obviously obviously knows that there's every single bug, smoke, or whatever. So for this, actually, to go 50-50-ish, they have to play Anubis. So other than that, I don't see any other chance. Now the 0-1 games, right? Monte against iNation. Well, um, I want to say iNation, but obviously Monte at the moment they are stronger than iNation, and even if we consider there's going to be a LAN, then Monte, well, they will have that power over the iNation. So Monte on this one. Now Astralis against Aurora. Mm. At this point is where the Astralis experience is going to hit, and again, it's a best of one game again, and anything can happen, but it's not where they're going to thrive, right? Uh, I believe that Aurora can make that from 0-2 to 3-2, like the same what OG did. I believe that can actually happen, but at the moment, like beating Astralis is not an option. Eternal Fire against Force. For me, this one is easy for Force. I'm not going to be surprised even to see 16-4, 16-5, something like that. Like under 25 is pretty easy. 9 against 500. Um, Now this is tough one, right? Because if we consider the individual level, then individually 500 players are kind of on the same level that as a 9, right? But if we actually look at the team play, then 9 has an advantage, right? Now the only reason is for this to happen is, are 500 actually trying to throw? If they're not trying to do that, great, it's going to be a close game, right? If they're actually trying to do that, it might be a close game over whatever, over 25, easy bet. But in general, I don't think that 500 should have a chance over here. So I'm going for 9. Now big against ends, still best of one. And in terms of best of one map pools, big has a quite huge advantage, I would say, over the ends. Uh, Potentially, this map can be Vertigo, which is most obvious one. And at this point, I'm still hoping for Big to actually show us that there is a potential in those young German kids, and Tapson is actually doing a lot of work. Right? I actually want to see Big in the last major. Vitality against Spirit. Mm. If Spirit players want, if any of Spirit players is going to disappear in this game, then there's no chance, and Vitality can take it. But if everyone is on the same page, then there is a chance that Spirit might walk away with the least OT, and then who knows what's gonna happen in OT. But at the moment, still I have to go for Vitality. Now Cloud9 against NIP. Well, I'm expecting either Overpass or Ancient in this game, and most likely it's gonna be Overpass, which both teams feel comfortable playing. And if I'm Cloud9, I'm not letting through neither Overpass or Ancient. I'm forcing another map, probably Inferno, the best option, or just try to gamble and go for Anubis. Just don't let these guys to actually play those two maps, because on those two maps anything can happen. Like really good CD half, and then just like pistol round, and that's it. The game is over. But yeah, at the moment I'm all the way up for Cloud9. Now Heroic against G2. Um, Some reason I think that G2 gonna go 2-0 as well, and KDN KDN just gonna do the job with the 3-1. Right? I don't see any need for either of them to actually struggle and force their way into 2-0 and then try to do whatever they can and fight like any of the big dogs again. Like, well, it's gonna go. None of them gonna get upset. They're just gonna play them up. They win, great. They lose, well, still more opportunities. But at the moment, I'm going for G2. Now the elimination games. Aurora against Tunnel Fire. I'm rooting for Aurora, so I'm saving them. iNation against 500. Uh, I actually I already said multiple times, right? iNation is the weakest team of them all. But the whole point of the 500 is that you never know when they're actually gonna play properly and when they're actually gonna draw, right? Anything can happen at any point, right? They might be winning like 14-6, and then they decide to throw because like the coefficient was really good, and well, they bet against themselves. So and then they just throw every single round after that. So against iNation, uh, my book is that 500 is still gonna take this one. Now 9 against NIP. Um, For me, this is where NIP going to 2-1, and after that, they just dropping down to 3. Spirit against Astralis. Mm, kind of same logic as there was against Vitality for Spirit. Same thing. They're gonna play both teams that play in the same game, the first one. So at this time, still Astralis in my book are slightly over Spirit at the moment because I don't know what happened to Spirit, but it just feels off. Heroic against Monte, well, Kaden just gonna show a masterclass to Monte and just gonna destroy them. Ents against Force. This one for me is on Ents. I believe they're gonna win. Now Vitality against G2. Mm, Baby Goat against Zyvo. Um, for some reason, I think that Vitality should go 3-0. They just have to. It's it's their home major, so everything gonna go in, right? When for G2, I don't think there's going to be much pressure if they lose that like against Vitality. They're just going to win next game and that's it. That's all that matters for them. So I'm picking Vitality all the way here. And now Cloud9 against Big. Well, I'm rooting for Cloud9. And in terms of which map they're gonna play against Big as their own, or which map Big gonna pick, it's impossible to know. And on no matter what maps they're gonna play, I'm expecting really close, really close games, right? And at the end of the day, it's going to be sniper that's going to be a decisive factor. And at this point, Shiro is I'm not going to say 10 times better than hype, but at least 3-4 times. And for me, this is the crucial factor. Now going for the elimination games again. Force against Monte. Mm, on LAN, I'm taking Force over Monte any time of the day. Um, it's going to be a really, really tough game for both teams. And, well, for Monte, obviously, because there's Ukrainian representation. For Force, because, well, it's not easy at the moment. And in general, for me, Force is a stronger team than Monte. Now, Aurora against 9. Hmm. This is where my logic is switching off and I'm just cheering for Aurora and I just want to see them go into 2 or 3 and at least have that shot. Right? Now Spirit against 500. I believe Spirit gonna take this one and just gonna send 500 back at home. Now Astralis against Ens. Oof, that one is spicy. And for me, at this point, we saw what ends can actually bring, but for some reason I'm not convinced, right? And somehow I have slightly more faith in Astralis rather than ends, so I'm gonna go with Astralis pick over here. Now, big against heroic. Um, this is the one where it's kind of weird. Uh, I want to say big gonna take it. Really want to say big gonna take it, but then heroic at this point it should be more than enough to just go 3-1. And for me, like it doesn't really matter which team is gonna win over here, but whoever's gonna win should be advancing like with no problem. And who's gonna lose? Well, I'm like 90% sure they're gonna make it still with the 3-2. So my original call is big. We will see the surprise that most likely big gonna take this one, and then Hero gonna drop down to the last chance over here, and then G2. In my book, they should smash uh, pretty easily NIP, and then we have really great games left. Heroic against NIP. Now they're gonna fight not only in Twitter, but they're actually gonna play for the actual spot. And for me, Heroic is the team that's gonna take this one down and send Nip to watch the games again. Um, Ends against Aurora. I want to say Aurora again. I do, but for me somehow they just gonna be probably same as bait. For me somehow that's exactly the same thing as bait. And bait are inexperienced. These guys are inexperienced. I don't know. I have to pick ends over here, but I'm really gonna cheer for Aurora in this one. And now Spirit against Force, classic CIS battle for the spot of the major, and at the moment it looks like Spirit have a better chance to actually advance than Force. I don't know why, but in general, like I'm not happy to see both of them like playing for the chance. And yeah, for me, this is how it's gonna go for Spirit taking it, Force dropping down to the last chance qualifier, and that's it. That's how it is for me. So, with all this said, we're dropping down to the final list of the teams that I believe gonna qualify. So, all I'm interested in is 3-0 and 3-1. Uh, which teams am I considering? Obviously, Cloud9 is my go-to team, and I just have to go with Shiro and Nafani because if we look again what teams they're gonna play, first one is Force, then NIP, then Big. Like there's no easy games for them, right? But on the other side, you have G2 that's gonna play against Nine, against Heroic, Big. No easy games again. And then we have Big that's gonna play against iNation. Then they're gonna play ENCE, and then they're gonna play Cloud9. It's kinda a better one, but if we're talking the player performance, then probably the most sense is to pick Vitality players, and I'll explain why. Because they're gonna play against Astralis, right? The first game against Astralis is gonna be best of one. What potentially can we see? Blamef doing his regular stuff, um, and Astralis. Can they actually surprise us with something? I don't think so. Is Zonic gonna come with some sort of magic plan? Maybe. So maybe the best option is to pick Zyvu and pair him up with Dupree. Maybe that's the best option. Then in terms of Cloud9, well, Nafani or Booster. Mm, just because they're gonna play Force, NIP, and Big, there is a huge possibility that Shiro is gonna pop up in every single game, and then you should just pair him up with the probably Nafani, right? Because that's our core players, right? For me, the player that I definitely want to see in my team is uh, Crimbo. Right now, his performance is just insane, and he's only 204k. That's that's pretty sick. And then next, I have to go with the probably Astral, not the Astralis, but probably Vitality player. And who else? Who else other than Mr. Dupree? And I'm left with 181k, which doesn't really give me much room to improve, right? I can try and pick Lucky from Aurora, which probably is not gonna make much difference. Still not gonna make it. Um, or maybe there's another choice, right? Maybe I can sacrifice Rainbow and uh, in the best of one games, probably we should go this way. Um, is it gonna be sustainable for the long run? I don't know. Zip, they're gonna play each other. Siren, they playing against Aurora the first game. Can Siren actually perform? Best of one. His aim is actually decent recently, so maybe yes. Is this the best team possible? If we actually look at the other teams that I believe gonna go as 3-0, then yes, this is perfect, right? Mm, is there a chance that Nafani gonna get crazy rating against Force? Yes. Against NIP? Yes. Against Big? Yes. Can he actually suck every game? Yes. Uh, is Shiro continuing his crazy form? I hope so. So every single question is yes that I ask myself, and I don't see why not. Now against Vitality, right? Uh, if we're actually following the stuff that I believe gonna happen, then it's gonna be Astralis. What can we expect from Dupree and Magisk, right? If they playing, let's say they playing Inferno, right? Magisk can have a good rating, sure. Dupree, depending on is he actually ready or not, also can have a pop-up game. Who's gonna have the most impact? Well, obviously Zaiwu, but who's gonna be the next guy? Is it Spinks that gonna uh, kind of chip in, or is it gonna be Magisk? Maybe Magisk is the guy that's been kind of overlooked at the moment, but his CT performance is always good. Dupree, I don't know, more supportive role and like IGL position, maybe like in terms of roles, what am I gonna do? Like IGLing on Dupree, maybe entry fragging on Nafani. Uh, maybe it's gonna work like that. And then first game Siren against Aurora. Um, can we actually see Siren doing really well? Yeah, we can. But is there an option to pick Chopper? No, but again, why should we pick Chopper if we can get a Siren that potentially has a higher ceiling, and maybe it's gonna be an event where he's gonna show that he's worth something. So for me, like every pick is justifiable, and every play can shine in the best of one. Like you're not really seeing that often that Siren is like top rank in best of one. Like most of the time, it's Patsy uh, or Wonderful. But is it worth picking those two when I don't believe that you're gonna go 3-1? Mm, not really. So this is the lineup I'm gonna end up with, right? But for those that kind of wanna go the Monacy angle, uh, I think I had a team in my mind somewhere. Okay, I think it was Nafani. I think it was Dupree, and there was a fourth player. Actually, no, it wasn't. 91. Yeah, I think it wasn't Nafani. It was Busta and 187, and you can go for Siren again, right? And you obviously can take Siren. So this is the angle for those that potentially think that these three teams gonna qualify, and your dark horse is a Siren as a player that potentially can kind of have some decent ratings. Or like if you believe more in big, you can always pick Keto, right? Keto with his headshot percentage is actually doing decent. If you don't think that Vitality gonna go 3-1, then again you can replace Dupree with the let's say with Siren, and voila. Like you have carry, secondary carry. You have a support player that's potentially can do well, and we're already seeing that Buster actually did some good performances in most recent games on tier two. Keto, there's always a chance that Keto is going to pop up, and Siren, there's always a good chance that he's going to pop up, and especially in best of one games where, let's say, you start on CT side, let's say you're playing Inferno, Keto is playing a lot of aggression on Banana against Nation. Why not? Like 6, 7 rounds in, Keto isn't like on 15 frags. Is there a possibility? Yes. And then he's ending up game with like 26, I don't know, 12, and he's going like over 2 KD, and voila, again like 100 points. For Siren against Aurora, I don't know, maybe they're gonna play something like Anubis. Mm, Siren is like, Spirit's done on CT side. Siren defending like I don't know, maybe B gets like pistol pistol around, gets 3K and pistol around, and then Aurora is trying to go eco the same place. He's getting another 3 kills. Then next round they going again same place. He's get another like triple kill. Boom, he's on like 9 kills after like 3 rounds. And then like I don't know if Spirit actually ended up the game pretty quick with just like something like 16-6, 16-7, then what potential KD Siren's gonna have like 160, 170. So that's like 35 points straight away from like first game. Boom. Plus add the boosters. Damn. Like 40 points after one game for 170, 187. Not bad. And then who knows what's gonna happen in the second games. After that, all you need is just like him gain like averaging like 10, 15 points per game. So you actually have a really, really good value. In terms of Buster, well, he's just there for you to get those solid points, like 15 points per game, and you're happy to go. Monacy, that's your all-in, kinda. And JKS, well, his CT rating is just insane. So again, there's a lot of possibilities. Kinda, unfortunately, you're forced to go for a single carry over here, and most of the time, single carry sucks, but it is what it is. Uh, I'm actually going all in on Cloud9 and Vitality. Uh, for me, it is a gamble, kinda, uh, but I really want to pick big players, but I don't want to give up Shiro pick, right? Let's see if potentially big gonna surprise everyone and go 3-0, right? With the Crimbo going nuts, I I don't really see him being that kind of player that's needed to uh, do everything. Faven, I don't know. Again, like for me, Faven is a good player, but something is missing. Let's say I pick Crimbo and Faven, right? Uh, then I still need the Opa. can I try and force Monacy into this? Okay, then I'm picking this guy and 186. I'm forced with Nafani. Am I happy to see this team? Like, not really. And again, like, what other oppo is there? Like, Cadian? Like, if we're going for silver team, Cadian, then Jabi, then 180k left. For who should I pick? There isn't really a player that I'll be happy to see here. Tessus? I'm on 194 then. I don't know. If we try to replace this guy with someone else, Faven. Okay, let's say Thompson, right? I can try to pick Nafani uh, and config, but I don't believe in NIP. So Cloud9 then. Is this the team that I want to see like trying everything? Triple I J-Link? No, thank you. But this team has potential. In terms of JKS, Cadian, maybe Jabi. If we're going this route, is it good enough? I don't know, JKS, or should we take Hunter rather? Maybe. Picking Hooksy is never a great idea. So again, like there's a lot of possibilities, but some players are just overpriced, and I believe I'm happy to go with this setup. The only question is Keto or Siren, and I do believe more in Big than I believe more in uh, Spirit, but in terms of potential, who does more for Big? Uh, Thompson is playing support. Faven is kind of playing the back. Keto is the guy that's going like full ham and going aggressive. So probably Keto is the guy for me, right? I'm gonna go with Keto. So yeah, this is my team. That's what I think. So gonna actually help me out a lot. And yeah, uh, probably gonna be okay with this. So yeah, that's my lineup. Let me know what you think, and yeah, talk to you later. Have fun.